A babysitter is in jail after police say she critically injured a 4-month-old baby girl.
A Lexington mother says her son received threatening racist messages. Now police are investigating.
Family and friends have gathered to remember a couple killed in the terrorist attacks in Brussels, Belgium.
This is WKYT News at 5.
A 4-month-old girl is battling serious injuries. Police say she suffered at the hands of her babysitter.
Nicholasville police say they began investigating 34-year-old Erin Thompson after the baby was rushed from her home to Kentucky Children's Hospital. She's now been charged with criminal abuse. WKYT's Monique Blair is tracking the investigation in our top story at 5.
On Tuesday afternoon, Nicholasville police say 34-year-old Erin Thompson called 911 saying the 4-month-old girl who she was babysitting was suffering from a medical emergency.
You've got a victim here who can't talk, who can't tell anybody what happened.
Shortly after the child was taken to UK Hospital, a social worker called police saying the child's injuries were suspicious. Now, Nicholasville police do believe that Erin Thompson caused those injuries to the baby girl here at her home on Jones Court. Police say Thompson was the only adult with the child, aside from when other parents were dropping off their children, from early in the morning Tuesday until she called 911 around 2 o'clock.
They were serious physical injuries. I'm not exactly sure what the extent of the injuries are at this point in time. I do know that the child is admitted into UK Hospital.
Thompson's neighbors say they are shocked to hear these allegations.
My daughter took dance lessons with her daughter, and we talked during dance class, and I just would not suspect that from her at all. It's very surprising.
Nicholasville police say based upon the evidence they found and the doctor's information, they don't believe the child's injuries were accidental.
They feel like these were injuries that were sustained from Miss Thompson and not something that could have happened accidentally.
In Nicholasville, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Police say there were several other children in Thompson's care at the time of the incident, and she is not related to that child. We are tracking some winter-like weather making a return to our area.
Talking about freezing temperatures and even a little bit of snow. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's here. Chris, a lot going on tonight, tomorrow night, this weekend as well.
Yeah, this evening it is just flat out chilly out there. Gusty winds for the Legends season opener out at Whitaker Bank Ballpark. Folks out there are going to be bundled up heading out to Keeneland over the next few days. You're going to need to bundle up as well. And the potential for a little snowflake action tomorrow evening. Right now, it looks like it could snow. Certainly feels the part with a gusty wind combining with temperatures into the 40s to at times give us a wind chill down into the upper 30s to around 40. Humidity 59%, so kind of a raw day. Had those gusty showers earlier. What we're looking at, though, is the cold air coming in from the north. It is only 40 degrees in Maysville, yet a little milder across the southern parts of the area. That cold air, again, is dropping from north to south as of now, so those numbers are going to continue to drop. And also, late this afternoon, noticing on that Defender radar network a few more spots of green beginning to show up. That would be in the form of some of those isolated showers that will die out eventually as we go into the evening, only to return tomorrow afternoon. Around the Cincinnati area and points north, some wet snows have been mixing in with those showers. Overall, it is a flow that is coming in from northwest to southeast. You see that type of a flow, look out. It's a cold one. 36 degrees by 11 o'clock tonight as skies become partly cloudy by that hour. And that's going to set us up for a hard freeze in some of those valleys tomorrow morning into eastern Kentucky. Everybody with a hard freeze threat over the next couple of mornings. And by tomorrow night, when I come back in a few minutes, guys, we'll look at that hour-by-hour forecast to see if we can find one of those rare April snowflakes showing up. That's in a few minutes.
Police say they're investigating a threat involving students at Lexington Catholic High School. The investigation began after a mother reported finding race-related messages sent to her son. As WKYT's Victor Puente shows us, the report is prompting a second student's mother to come forward with her concerns.
Lexington police confirm they've started an investigation, but so far no one has been charged. The mother of the student involved, Denisha Vinegar, told WKYT she discovered the messages on her son, DeMarco's, computer. She said they were from a teammate of his on the Lexington Catholic football team and provided us these pictures of what she says were the messages. One message asked DeMarco, "Do you know what lynch means?" Then went on to say, "DeMarco, lynch means I'm going to hang you because you're black and I just might." Vinegar said she decided to transfer her son to a public school. When she did, she said Lexington Catholic refused to release DeMarco's transcript, and they gave her a bill for $4,000 because they did not meet fundraising goals. She eventually called police and asked them to get involved. Her story led another mother to call us to say her son had received similar treatment from some students, but in person.
It got to the point where it impacted my son so drastically that when I pick him up from school, he would just be depleted.
Robinson said her son had been excited to attend Lexington Catholic for his freshman year, but that excitement soon faded.
The final straw for me was when a student threatened to burn a cross in his yard. He let my child know that his parents and grandparents were KKK.
Robinson said she had talked to administration, but ultimately decided this would be her son's only year at the school. She hopes these incidents cause a serious discussion about the treatment of others.
It shouldn't have come to an end like this.
The Roman Catholic Diocese of Lexington released a statement in the Vinegar case, saying they consider racism a sin and a violation of human dignity. You can read the full statement at our website, WKYT.com. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Lexington Catholic released a statement this afternoon about the story involving Vinegar's son. It says the school met with students to discuss the situation and warned them of the dangers of offensive language and social media. In the statement, the school says the incident in no way reflects the culture or environment which Lexington Catholic High School promotes. We did not receive a response to questions about Robinson's allegations. Family and friends have started saying goodbye to a couple killed in a terrorist attack.
Lexington native Stephanie Schultz and her husband Justin died when bombs went off at the Brussels, Belgium airport on March 22nd. WKYT's Garrett Weimer is live at Southland Christian Church in Nicholasville, where the couple is being remembered tonight. Garrett?
Yeah, the visitation has been underway for a couple of hours now here at Southland Christian Church in Nicholasville as family and friends gather to remember Justin and Stephanie Schultz. They got a hero's welcome when their bodies arrived back in Lexington Sunday at Bluegrass Airport. It's been a difficult couple of weeks, though, for those who knew them. First, the agony of waiting while they were missing. Then, the tragedy of knowing their lives were stolen from them. When the couple was still missing, a high school friend of Stephanie's started tying green and yellow ribbons at Bryan Station High School and other places around Lexington as a way to pay tribute.
So I put the ribbons up as a sign of hope because honestly we didn't know how to grieve, and at that time we didn't know we were grieving. So we did it as a sign of hope at first, and then it ended up being a sign of remembrance as we learned about her passing.
The visitation continues until 8 o'clock tonight and then again tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The funeral starts at 2 here at Southland Christian Church on Harrodsburg Road. Live in Nicholasville, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. Justin and Stephanie Schultz will be buried at Bluegrass Memorial Gardens. Stephanie and Justin Schultz were remembered in Washington, D.C. today as well. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell honored the couple on the Senate floor. Senator McConnell took time to send his condolences to the couple's family and friends.
My wife Elaine and I join all Kentuckians in sending our deepest condolences to the families and loved ones of this young couple. We share their heartbreak over the fact that Stephanie and Justin were just taken from us entirely too soon.
Senator McConnell also extended sympathy and prayers to all families who lost loved ones in Belgium. Prosecutors in Belgium have released new surveillance video as they try to find the suspect in the bombings that killed the Schultz. The video shows the man walking in front of a hotel and through a car rental lot. The final clip from about 2 hours after the attacks shows him in a blue button-down before he disappears into the streets of Brussels. Prosecutors also made a plea to the public to come forward with information.
We are learning more about the latest victim of a Takata airbag, how she's being remembered, ahead.
A doctor has come up with a new way to help heroin addicts. The reason her treatment is considered controversial in Better Living.
Could this really be the answer for heroin addiction? A little-known drug called Vivitrol.
I haven't had any cravings or thoughts of using.
WKYT investigates a cure for heroin tonight at 6 on WKYT.
For the best selection of reclining furniture, come to Furniture World Superstore. From sofas and love seats to leather sectionals, massage chairs, and more. Whether you want to recline, lift, or swivel, you'll find furniture that moves you. Plus 2 years interest-free at Furniture World Superstore.
If you have questions about your on-the-job injury, visit forthepeople.com for more information. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Welcome to Carpet One. Visit our area rug showroom featuring 400 room-size area rugs. While you're here, check out our in-stock rolls and remnants and save over 50% off carpet and vinyl. Carpet One has it all, and we have it in stock. Come see us.
You're gonna love what's new at Fazoli's, the Create Your Own Sampler. You get 3 choices of Italian deliciousness from 12 Fazoli's favorites. That's over 250 combinations for just $6.99. Only at Fazoli's.
Lextran has expanded weekend service to Keeneland. Convenient, safe, and drop-off right up front without having to worry about parking. Visit Lextran.com/Keeneland or call 253-INFO.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 104.5 The Cat.
Call in now during our Off to the Races sale here at One Day Bath by America's Window, the company thousands of Lexington area homeowners call for an easy-to-clean bath or shower like this. And check out our showroom. We're conveniently located at 1190 East New Circle Road here in town. We have 14 baths and showers on display. We have a wide variety of colors and designs, from custom tub-to-shower conversions and barrier-free showers to walk-in tubs and more, installed by our experts in as little as 1 day. And now's a great time to take advantage of huge savings across the board during our Off to the Races sale. Save up to 20% on your new bath or shower. Ask about our 0 down and 0 interest option for 12 months. Plus, act now and receive a $500 discount certificate good towards future purchases. You're always a winner at One Day Bath by America's Window.
Thousands of combinations, hundreds of styles, endless choices. At Furniture World Superstore, you can get custom furniture from traditional to trendy fabrics or luxurious leather in 2 weeks. Your furniture, your way, delivered in 2 weeks. Plus 2 years interest-free at Furniture World Superstore.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Cold winds are blowing across the Bluegrass State. It's been a very cold start to the month of April, and it only gets colder from here. Wish I had a little better news. Let's look outside and see what is going on now. Northern half of the area, much colder than folks across the south are seeing. 50 southern Kentucky, yet it is 40 into Maysville, 41 Covington, 47 Lexington. Good folks into Mount Sterling at only 45 degrees. Check out the even colder air from Dayton back toward the Chicago area. Many parts of Ohio and Indiana stuck in the 30s this afternoon. That's just a small part of what is coming in here over the next few days. A little look at our live sky cams from across the entire region. Clouds, yeah, they're plentiful. We have been noticing a little break or two out there, but overall a cloudy sky into most areas. Had those showers early in the day, a break middle of the day, and now we're queuing up another band or two of some gusty rains falling across parts of central Kentucky. There is a chance that you get in on a little soft hail / sleet or a snowflake at some point this evening in the northern parts of the area. The air upstairs is very, very cold, so that freezing level is abnormally close to the ground right now. Northwesterly wind flow keeping us locked into these systems that just dive in from northwest to southeast. The air continues to grow colder. Some of us tomorrow morning upper 20s. Green thumb alert. We're going to string together for much of the area 3 days in a row of temperatures going below 30 degrees. That's hard to do this time of year. We did it back in 2007 at roughly the same time, and we paid a price for that with a lot of our plants and vegetation that were in a world of hurt. We're going to do that again over the next few days. So 28 tomorrow, 45 tomorrow afternoon with a gusty shower. Like today, it won't rain the entire day. And tomorrow evening, it grows colder quicker, so a wet snowflake is possible by 10 or 11 tomorrow evening. Hour-by-hour forecast. Sun sets, a lot of those clouds will begin to dissipate. So it's upper 20s to around 30 tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning may start bright, then all of a sudden it goes downhill quickly with another band of some showers moving on into town. Tomorrow evening with a shower of rain or snow out there. And then through Saturday morning, temperatures are into the mid and upper 20s. We're going to struggle to get into the low 40s, 40 to 45 into many areas for a high on Saturday. Northern Kentucky could stay in the upper 30s with upper 20s already showing up by 11 o'clock Saturday evening. Now hang in there. Sunday afternoon looks really good. Sunday's one of those rare days you go from a freeze, a hard freeze, into a mild pattern. How about Keeneland? Not the best opening days, but it's not going to rain the entire time out there. Sunday, though, looks like the pick afternoon at 63 degrees with a partly sunny sky. Forecast for the next 7 days. One more significant cold front that we will track Monday into Tuesday with showers and thunderstorms that has one more chance behind it to give us a freeze by next Wednesday. You get beyond that, I am seeing a much warmer pattern that is taking shape.
For people going to Keeneland and want something hot, I have one word.
What's that?
Burgoo.
Burgoo? That'll come in handy tomorrow.
Warm you up.
And Saturday. Sunday's a little better, though.
Yeah, Sunday's a beautiful day, sounds
that
like.
it is.
All right, thanks.
Live look at Lexington rush hour traffic this afternoon, and so far we've had some delays to deal with, a couple of crashes, a couple of them cleared up, still working one at Clays Mill and Keithshire, and you can see the slowdowns leaving downtown out toward Nicholasville Road, and it's still heavy around Nicholasville and the Circle because of an earlier crash. 27 minutes to Nicholasville right now, as a matter of fact. To Versailles, it's a short hop, 12 minutes. Winchester's 26. Now back to you in the studio.
A city gets a stolen sign back 30 years after it disappeared. How it was returned coming up.
A lawyer accused of getting fraudulent disability payments for clients by the millions returned to court today in hopes of getting bond. We'll tell you what happened during that hearing on WKYT News at 5:30.
WKYT is putting the new back in late news with newer stories and more updates. So there's less repetition, which means no wasted time. WKYT News at 11. Newer, fresher, worth staying up for.
Three new kinds of jaw-dropping primetime burgers, only at Frisch's Big Boy.
It was a routine call, a code 7 at a local laundromat. What we saw, well, nothing can prepare you for it. We went in, we approached the victim. He was dying of boredom. Agents of play, sir. We got there just in time. We handed him a scratch-off ticket and watched him play. Thank you. Have fun. I'm serious. His smile, well, that's the only thanks we needed. It's what being an agent of play is all about.
Put a little play in your day, week, month, or year with these exciting new scratch-offs from the Kentucky Lottery. Fueling imagination, funding education.
At Hair Win, we've been helping people for 125 years.
If you've been injured in a life-changing accident, we can help.
Contact us at helpingkentucky.com.
Hair Win. Visit helpingkentucky.com.
I love Spain. This food, the wine, the tapas. I want to stay here forever.
Well, we're not in Spain. We're home.
I know, but this food is so delicious.
Then it's like a Spain-cation.
Head to Kroger for authentic recipes, specially imported foods, and delicious meal ideas at the Taste of Spain event.
Cook up fresh Perdue boneless chicken breasts for just $1.99 a pound. And sweet red, yellow, or orange bell peppers are now 10 for $10 at Kroger.
I'm Dennis Anderson with Anderson Communities. As part of our Better Community Design, we use fences. We use fences to create private spaces. We use fences to create safe and secure places and control access. And we use Rio Grande as our fence company.
Now during our Off to the Races sale here at One Day Bath by America's Window, get a beautiful new bath or shower installed in as little as 1 day. And call now for huge savings across the board. Save up to 20% on your new bath or shower. Ask about our 0 down and 0 interest option for 12 months. Plus, act now and receive a $500 discount certificate good towards future purchases. You're always a winner at One Day Bath by America's Window.
Three new kinds of jaw-dropping primetime burgers, only at Frisch's Big Boy.
Kentucky mornings start here. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT. Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Police say the public is not in danger after a reported home invasion. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Bullitt County. The sheriff's office says a woman reported that a man broke into her home on Hillview Boulevard last night and shot her in the stomach during a struggle. She's recovering at a Louisville hospital. A Louisville television station reports the woman reported an attack at the same home several weeks ago. In Rockcastle County, a semi-driver is suspected of driving while drunk. State police arrested Henry Klickner on I-75 after noticing that he was driving erratically. Police say he smelled of alcohol and failed field sobriety tests. Police tell us they also found open containers of alcohol in the semi.
A teenager is the 11th person in the U.S. killed by a Takata airbag. The Sheriff's Department in Fort Bend County, Texas, says that Huma Hanif was rear-ended on her way home from school. The crash was not serious, but it did cause the airbag to deploy, turning a defective inflator into a projectile. She had just dropped off a friend when it happened.
The whole entire day we spent together. We just came together, and it's just her personality fit perfect with mine. So we promised we'd graduate together, you know, go to prom. No, it can't be her.
Hanif was driving a 2002 Honda Civic. Honda says it mailed several recall notices, but the car was never fixed. It appears more and more people are buying guns. FBI background checks for gun purchases totaled more than $7 million in the first quarter of the year. Industry experts say the push for gun control on the presidential campaign trail, along with the San Bernardino and Paris terrorist attacks, are fueling the sales. A guilty conscience finally got the best of the culprit in a decades-old theft. Someone stole a sign from Smyrna Beach, Florida in the 1980s, reading New Smyrna Beach says no to drugs. The sign arrived at City Hall Monday via mail, along with an apology note.
I think it's fantastic. I think somebody's life has changed maybe for the positive, and they're making amends with some things maybe they've done in the past, and there is no statute of limitations on a guilty conscience. Sometime in the late 80s, I stole this sign in a fit of youthful exuberance.
Many of us have had youthful exuberance in our day. The thief also sent $50 to pay for reinstalling the sign. Very classy.
There is good in the world.
There is out there.
Later, right?
You have to find it on New Smyrna Beach. The flu is hitting one Kentucky community especially hard this spring. Find out how many cases there have been on WKYT News at 5:30.
One doctor is pioneering a new way to save the lives of heroin addicts. Why it's causing controversy next in Better Living.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you, like WKYT on Facebook.
The Lexington Legends 16th season in the Bluegrass begins Thursday, April 7th. Check out LexingtonLegends.com for tickets at all the Stash-tastic promotions coming your way all summer long.
On Jeopardy!
Come explore with us as we take you around Sutter's Fort State Park.
In July, join the Clue Crew as they pan for great clues.
Only on Jeopardy!
Jeopardy! Tonight at 7:30 on WKYT.
Outdated kitchen cabinets driving you mad? Lexington Express Cabinets is offering 10% off all cabinets on their already low warehouse prices. Stop in and browse from our showroom selection of premium cabinets. Don't let the clock run out. Get to Lexington Express Cabinets today, because Lexington Express does cabinets for less.
Enjoy 0% financing for 5 years and free TVs with your qualifying purchase at Sleep Outfitters. Get this Sealy Pillow Top Queen set with gel foam on sale now for just $4.99, plus a free TV. Save hundreds on a special purchase of Tempur-Pedic adjustable bases while they last. 0% financing for 5 years, free TVs, store-wide savings, and save hundreds on Tempur-Ergo adjustable foundations. Only at Sleep Outfitters.
I'm Commissioner of Agriculture Ryan Quarles, and I'm asking you to join me to help check off hunger. Taxpayers can donate a portion of their refund to the Farms to Food Banks Trust Fund. I hope Kentuckians throughout the Commonwealth will support this effort to help those in need and Kentucky's farmers. Look for the Farms to Food Banks Trust Fund box and check line 33 of your income tax form. For more information, visit the Kentucky Association of Food Banks at kyfoodbanks.org.
It's our Off to the Races sale here at One Day Bath by America's Window. If you're chomping at the bit to update your old bathroom, then now's the time to call. Remember to visit our showroom in Lexington, the big yellow building at 1190 East New Circle Road, with 14 baths and showers on display. Our One Day Bath and Shower systems are a safe bet for making your bathroom look new again. Convert your old tub into a low step-in shower with the popular tub-to-shower conversion, or a barrier-free shower for easy wheelchair access. We also have walk-in tubs with hydrotherapy. But it's your last chance during this program to call during our Off to the Races sale. Save up to 20% on your new bath or shower. Ask about our zero down and zero interest option for 12 months. Call 1-800-861-4153. Act now and receive a $500 discount certificate, good towards future purchases. You're always a winner at One Day Bath by America's Window.
The Lexington Legends 16th season in the Bluegrass begins Thursday, April 7th. Check out LexingtonLegends.com for tickets at all the Stash-tastic promotions coming your way all summer long.
It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. The opioid epidemic is claiming thousands of lives each year. The Centers for Disease Control says more than 10,000 Americans died of heroin overdoses in 2014 alone. One doctor has come up with a new but controversial approach to keeping addicts alive. Kenneth Craig shows us what it is.
People who have addiction and, are experiencing homelessness.
This street near downtown Boston has become the epicenter of the city's heroin crisis. It's also the home of the Boston Healthcare for the Homeless program, where Dr. Jesse Gaida's plan to help addicts is making waves.
Our main goal right now is to decrease deaths from overdose. That's the first goal.
Her goal isn't controversial, but her method is. This month, her team will start inviting addicts to come in from the streets.
This is the space that we're going to set up.
This conference room is being turned into a lounge where drug users can ride out their highs under medical supervision in a so-called safe space. It's the first of its kind in the nation. If users want help into treatment, they'll get that too.
Tough life.
Gregory Bray overdosed on heroin 4 times in the last year.
Look at it on the corner, sleeping, toting them bags. I once did all that, man. I don't want to do that no more.
He believes the safe space will make a difference.
These people show that they care about other people's life. And that's like, that right there, man, is like the most beautiful thing in the world.
Critics say offering a space to addicts will encourage drug use, but Gaida says they're already using.
If things are in a bad way and you're going to overdose, at least we kind of have everything that we need at our fingertips to reverse that.
In a state where nearly 4 people are dying each day from opioids, Gaida says she isn't trying to enable users, she's trying to keep them alive. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Boston.
Ithaca, New York is taking the idea a step further. The mayor has proposed an injection site where addicts can shoot drugs in a supervised space that is still illegal in the U.S. Now, coming up tonight on WKYT News at 6, we're taking a look at a new heroin addiction treatment starting to take hold here in Kentucky. Vivitrol is a once-a-month shot, but unlike other treatment options, it contains no narcotics, while leaders at one clinic are calling it a cure for opiate addiction. College enrollment remains steady among Kentucky's high school graduates. A new report shows 60% of the state's public high school class of 2014 enrolled in college. The numbers show 90% of those students started out as full-time students. More than 50% were pursuing a bachelor's degree, while nearly 36% were working on an associate's degree. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.